Welcome. This is season 2, episode 4 of the Unofficial Official Story. What up, everyone? I'm Jennifer, and I am happy that it's June. Well, actually, I got to back that up because when does this episode come out?
July.
So let me just pretend it's July. Okay. I'm Jennifer, and I am so happy that it's summertime. I feel like this is the first summer that's like not as scary because of COVID. So ready to party.
That's a good point. I'm Dwayne, and I'm happy Jennifer now knows what month we're in. We got that settled. And I'm happy my homie is here. And I'm just happy that I'm not an alien.
And I'm Koji, and I am an alien. So there you go.
We've established that,
yes. But what kind? What kind, Koji? Are you
I'm
gray?
a reptilian.
Oh, I thought you were a gray alien.
No, that's just a stereotype
he is
about
a
Asian
gray.
people.
He's a gray. He's a wannabe reptilian.
Then there's this whole thing online where people think Asians are gray aliens.
Gray
The gray one, the communion, the ones that you see. And the reason they think that is because all the stereotypes of Asian people are the same stereotypes not stereotypes, but they're the same thing of the gray. So like the grays are hairless. They're robots-like. They are good at math and science.
And they have almond-shaped eyes.
Yeah, almond-shaped eyes. They're small. So I don't buy into that whole theory, right?
Nice. On account of current cultural sensitivities, I have no opinion on
that. Well played. All right, so this is a podcast where we tell you the official story. Okay, we're going to look at the paranormal, conspiracies, unexplained phenomena, cryptids, and true crime. By the end of each episode, we're going to tell you what really maybe happened. And in this episode, we're asking the question, what kind of alien is Elon Musk? Ooh. But first, let's meet our very special guest, Ben Gleib. Hey, Ben. Okay, so Ben is a stand-up comedian, actor, writer, and director, and he was named by TBS as one of the funniest comedians working today and was called the number 3 innovator that changed comedy in 2020. So for 7 years, Gleib was one of the stars of Chelsea Lately on E! With over 100 appearances on Chelsea Handler's Roundtable. His podcast, Last Week on Earth with Ben Gleib on Kevin Smith's Smodcast network, debuted at number 9 on iTunes Comedy and was number 1 on Stitcher for over 20 weeks. That's pretty legit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being with us, man.
It's my pleasure.
You know what's interesting is that I do think you're our innovator, but also I feel like it's weird. You're like a new guy who's on the cusp, but you respect the old school. It's clear you respect the old school, kind of like how Drake is a great rapper. Drake and Kendrick and J. Cole, they're all great because they kind of understand, like, they could have all been rappers in the 90s, but they happen to be rappers tonight. They could have. Oh, they're bridges. Just like Jay-Z's a bridge.
Totally.
Jay-Z's a bridge from 80s, right, to like Nas, Jay-Z. They have one foot in the Rakim, Curtis Blow thing because they grew up with that, and one foot over here. So, like, I know you're cool with John Cleese, right? And I'm cool with Cleese as well.
He's great.
Love him. It's amazing that we know him, right? It's outrageous.
I do a virtual show with him called Please Leave Me Alone.
Right. You guys know John Cleese?
Yeah,
we're pretty good friends with him.
Together.
Wow.
Co-build. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. And if you know, I mean, you should know, but John Cleese is from Monty Python's Flying Circus and just a legend in comedy. And so that's what I mean. Like, you know guys like that. You can put on a jacket. You can do, you know what I mean? Like, you could have easily existed. Like, you could have ran with the Rat Pack if you wanted to.
Man,
but also you're like cutting edge. So I think that's kind of cool, you know?
Dude, that's one of the highest compliments I've ever received. Thank you, Dwayne. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've always respected the old school. I love it. I grew up watching it.
Right.
I'm of that generation that still remembers Johnny Carson being on the air.
Right.
And then at the same time, you know, I try to, you know, stay as hip with TikTok as I can, you know?
No, you're super hip. And you ran for office.
True.
Speaking of hip,
That's true.
You know, I've worked with you on that, some of that stuff.
True.
How did you get into that? And because like I said, hip, you're not a political comic, but, you know, you're not afraid to go there and speak your opinion. I think that's amazing how you're able to do that. What got you in that realm?
Just, you know, not being able to avoid it is really what brought me there. I just care about the country and the world too much, and I just get angry. And so I figure if I'm going to get angry, I may as well turn that into some content for people, into something that can maybe inspire some people, make people laugh and think about the world a little bit. And I just ran for office specifically because I just was really concerned that we weren't going to beat Trump in the last election.
Right.
I just didn't think that anybody was taking the strategy seriously enough to beat him, because strategy is so important. And so I figured you couldn't beat him with traditional politics. He's really a heckler, and you needed a comedian to beat a heckler. And so I threw my hat into the ring. And I don't know if you've been following the news. I did not win.
Oh, no. What did you run for?
I ran for president of the United
I know,
States.
that's
actual
crazy.
president. Oh, wow.
But I ended up getting to advise the Biden campaign on their debate strategy.
Oh, that's really cool.
That was the debate was the big purpose of what I initially ran for, was to try to make sure we won in the debate. And so that at least helped.
It's a paradigm shift.
Biden came out swinging those last couple debates against Trump.
I didn't know that. That's really dope. I didn't know you consulted. And it's a paradigm shift for you to say he's a heckler.
Yeah.
As a comic, it's sort of like, yes, you know what I mean? And it's weird. I think even Elon said this, and I'm reading this. I don't know why I'm reading this book, Sherlock Holmes versus Arsène Lupin. You know, the guy from Netflix.
Okay.
It's a French book, and it's translated. And anyway, because one of the things Sherlock Holmes said is like, once you know what question to ask, then it's all easy, right? And for you saying, oh, he's a heckler. It's like, fucking yes, he's a heckler.
Yeah.
And we know how to deal with that. You know what I mean?
100%. It really put a frame to understand the guy in. And I ran, on the theory that I knew as much. My podcast is political. I mean, I covered the news that happened during the week: news, politics, pop culture, stupid stories, all of it. That's why it's called Last Week on Earth, whatever happened during the last week on Earth. Right. And I'd been, a guest correspondent on CNN, and and the Young Turks co-anchor, and now doing a video series for Rebel HQ for the Young Turks every week, and 3 videos a week. You can check those out if you want. And so I felt like I knew my politics really well, but you don't really know until you know. And I started running, and I had the theory that I would never be stumped.
Right.
And I was never stumped. I was never stumped in an interview. Larry King interviewed me and ended up saying that we needed more Americans like me, which was very touching and insane. And I was only stumped actually twice in weird meetings in Iowa with district chiefs. But I covered it up pretty good. Generally speaking, I was not stumped, and it just proved what I always thought. It's not that I know so much; it's that our politicians know so little.
Yeah,
right.
And there's nothing special about them, and we think of it as so different. We think of politics as a separate world, and that's how they keep power. That's how they keep the common man hypnotized away from it and bored with everything else, and just thinking, "Oh, that's for different people. It's above my head." They just do it because they want to keep the power. They don't want you to think that it's accessible. And so the way I always looked at politics is like, it's just a reality show. It's just the ultimate reality show. It's a reality show with consequences.
Right.
It's the same sex dramas you get on the Kardashians that you get in Congress with all their scandals all the time. Only these reality stars have bombs and nuclear weapons and armies at their disposal.
Yeah.
It's a more interesting reality show, if you ask me.
Absolutely. And I feel like, I've met your folks maybe on occasion, that kind of confidence to like go into something that you're not sure, but be like, I think I could do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My
folks were not on board.
Would you say you were born with it, or did they give you that confidence, even if they weren't on board?
Confidence, yes. I mean, they were very supportive Jewish parents. So
right.
They, every Jewish mom tells their kid, you could be the president if you want. I just stupidly believed it. That was my bad. But when I actually decided to run, they were not on board. They got on board eventually once they saw me getting some traction and raising some real money and being on the campaign trail and getting endorsements and things like that. They then got it. When I'm speaking at an event in Iowa, on stage, on the lineup with Biden and Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and following them on stage and getting a standing ovation, they're like, okay, now we get what's happening here. It's not a joke. But when you have to convince your parents it's a joke, it's maybe not the right time for you.
And I know we have to get to the thing, but I want to say one thing, like along the process, what do you think your chances are of winning? And then do you ever think, what if I really do win? Because I almost feel like Trump didn't start it to win.
He didn't expect to win. He didn't think he could win.
And then he won. He was like, fuck. So did you ever think about that? Like,
that video, when you see him win, everybody around him is happy. He's literally, you see it, look on his face. He's like, what the fuck did I just do? I thought obviously it was an incredible long shot that I would win, but I felt like I couldn't live with myself if I didn't try. And the only path I really saw to winning was to have a moment that just blew the campaign up. And I figured, my thought is that once I had a nationally big moment, that then people would hear my ideas and hear my common sense and hear my humor and hear the way that I can frame these things in a way that brings everybody together and gets rid of the bullshit, that I had a chance to ascend to the top. So our big goal initially was to get in the debates because the threshold was pretty low for donations. But we started too late and we didn't come close to it.
I see.
And so then it was the second debate. And we didn't get that either. So then it was the AFL-CIO speech in Iowa where I spoke, with all the major candidates, and every bit of press is there from the world. And this was kind of our last big chance to make a splash. And I went up last because we signed up for that late because we entered the game late and knew about it late. And so everybody else was pulled in the lottery. But for me, they just threw me on at the end because the lottery was already pulled. And I went up on stage and they also mistimed the whole thing. It was a whole drama. We shot a documentary about it all. Basically, they also just gave me like 5 or 7 minutes notice that I was going to be on stage like an hour before I was supposed to be. We were still rewriting the speech. It was nuts. And so we had to run down. I had to delay going out there. But I get up on stage and all the cameras in the back just start turning off. And the reporters start doing their stand-ups to camera and their wraparounds and shit. And I'm giving this speech to the unionized workers as the only union worker in the thing. I'm in SAG after. It's under AFL-CIO. It's a signatory to, and literally all the cameras are like, forget it, we're done. And the workers, the people they're there to cover, are inspired by what I'm saying, and the news doesn't even cover it, doesn't show it. And the next day, the Des Moines Register, the paper that really is a kingmaker in Iowa politics, and as Iowa goes, often, as same with Wisconsin, so goes the nation. They did a front page story on all the speeches the day before, and they cover extensively all the candidates. And one paragraph says, candidates tout their ties to union. I'm like, oh, here's where they're going to talk about mine. And it says, whatever, Michael Bennett talks about how his grandfather was in the union. And I was like, I'm in the union. The last paragraph just said, also speaking at the event was Ben Gleib, Beto O'Rourke, and Joe Sestak. That's the mention I get.
Wow.
And so they're just not even covering the real story. So that was pretty disconcerting. But luckily it all worked out. And it could have worked out a little better, but it worked out.
You would have had to stop doing stand-up for a while.
Yeah, I already had to mostly stop for that year. I did some dates in states that were like swing states that I could go campaigning also, but I did very few. And then the pandemic hits. I've been out of the game for like 3 years almost.
Right.
But I got to say, on your own podcast, y'all have to hear this about Dwayne. You played a big role in this election too, man, because you were one of our writers on the Wisconsin event that helped flip the election as well, because Wisconsin barely went to Biden, and that's because Dwayne helped us raise $540,000.
Wow, Dwayne, I didn't know that.
That helped change the election, and Biden won just by a thin margin, and Wisconsin is the bellwether.
Biden won?
Biden won the election. I did not win. I ran, and I did not win. Just to recap.
Wait, I thought Trump won.
No one knows, really. They're still counting. Trump's still in his basement counting tickets from an arcade, being like, look, if you go buy these tickets, I'm the winner. Okay, clearly. And so that helped flip Wisconsin, which was a major, and was one of the major states that pushed Biden over the edge. And then you also wrote on the Telethon for America.
Right. It was to encourage people to get out there and vote.
And then he went on the Mike Huckabee show. I don't know if you know that. He went on the
Did he really?
He went on the Mike Huckabee
show. Did what? Okay, now you're undoing all your goodwill. What'd you do on Huckabee?
I told Steve about it. I just did stand-up.
Now we're going to get into the conspiracy theory about whether Elon Musk is an alien or not. Right? What's the deal here? So here are some facts.
Elon Musk has been asked a few times if he's an alien. These are some of his responses. Aliens exist in physics and philosophy. Aliens could be among us. Some people think I'm an alien, but it's not true. I think there's a wink, wink, nudge there. Another time he was asked if he was an alien, and his answer was, of course.
And then there was this interaction on Twitter from a guy named Kunal Shah. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Sorry. Elon Musk may end up running 4 plus $500 billion companies simultaneously at a relatively young age. What I really want to understand, how does he do it? How does he manage context switching? How does he design his org? So many questions. And the next question he asks the Kunal guy, he says, answer if you see this Dark Lord. And then Elon Musk said he's an alien. So this is proof that he's an alien, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. See? So the internet rumor, though, is that he's actually a reptilian lizard disguised as a human. And of course, reptilian is a type of alien, right? And the reason he's trying to get to Mars is obviously because that's the home base of the reptilians.
We all knew that.
Yes, but our favorite rationale was from a young rapper. GD NLE Chopper, in an interview over at XXL, he says, and I quote, and once I read this quote, you'll understand why I had to read this quote.
He's everybody's favorite rapper. So we're waiting for him to weigh in.
Right. So I had to read this quote for the reasons. It'll become clear why I had to read. So he says, I quote, bruh, if a nigga come to my face and say, hey man, let's move to Mars.
Now I get it.
Let's move to Mars. Let's move to Mars. His ass done been there. His ass done lived there before, Chopper said. First off, they say it's hot as hell there, so we ain't gonna be thinking about going there. Motherfucker gonna come, let's go to Mars. The fuck? You been there before or something? Boy, hell no. I don't really know how he sounds, so this may not be a dead-on thing. You're not going to put that shit in my brain. And well said. NLE Chopper. Well
you said you knew who he was. I
do. I just don't know what he sounds like. I know what it looks like.
But isn't Mars cold? So why does he say? I thought that was wrong.
Is Mars cold? I don't know.
I thought Venus was hot.
I guess there's no way for us to ever figure that out.
I thought men were from Mars. Am I getting this wrong? I don't know if it's hot or cold. To be honest, I think it's hot.
I thought it was hot too.
Oh, really? I thought it was cold.
I actually think it swings. I really do. I think in in the winter months it gets like crazy cold, and the summer months it gets crazy hot. I think it swings.
If only there was a way for us to check.
I'm looking at it now.
Look it up. Yeah.
It says average negative 81 degrees Fahrenheit. So I would say that's
cold.
Yeah.
It's cold.
That sounds cold to me.
How hot does it get? If only there was a way to check.
In the wintertime at the poles, it's plus 70 degrees. That's not bad. Like
nice.
Plus 70?
It's 70 Fahrenheit at the poles in the winter.
Wow.
Shit, that's legit.
Yeah, that's like perfect weather.
But it gets as cold as negative 220 degrees.
Yeah.
No, what's the hottest we get?
70.
Yeah. No, what's the hot?
The hottest is 70 degrees.
That's the hottest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, that's why when he said that, I was like, okay, he's got it wrong.
So he doesn't know what he's talking about. Is that what you're trying to imply?
Are you telling me NLE Chopper doesn't know
That's weird.
about astronomy?
Correct.
Astronomy, is that even the word for it?
Yeah. Astrology is like I'm a Virgo, but astronomy is the heavens.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you actually start flying into it, is it still astronomy or is it just like science now? I think astronomy is just like looking at the stars and like making
could be
making like looking at their projection. But I feel like when you're flying there, we're not in astronomy anymore. We're like this is like
space studies.
This is just a flight.
Right
Now it's just we packing 2 bags and heading out of town. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that really from that his comment, from NLE's comment, was that that Elon's trying to put chips in our brains, which I didn't realize was actually a conspiracy. We're not going to get into it here, but
really trying to do that though. It's not even a conspiracy. But it's to help. It's apparently to help paraplegics.
Yeah.
Rewire their brains.
To do what?
Maybe they can walk again.
To do what?
Put chips in the brains of paraplegics.
To help them
He's
walk.
trying to do that?
Yeah.
Putting chips in people's brains?
Yeah.
Is he putting chips only in paraplegics' brains?
Well, it always starts like that. That's how it starts.
You don't have a chip in your brain right now?
No, but I also just walked for the first time this morning in many decades. So something's working. Something's working.
That's funny.
According to a Gizmodo article written by Alyssa Walker, we're going to link this article, by the way, in our show notes. But here are some other reasons that people think that Elon Musk is an alien or reptilian. SpaceX is just a front to hide his space vehicles. And there's also his obsession with Mars. He wants to blow up Mars and or like live and die on Mars.
Which is a weird combo. I feel like you got to go one way or the other on that.
Yeah.
You either want to
Right?
live there or you want to blow it up with nuclear weapons. Riding that fence is really trying to please both sides.
Right. But he wants to die there too. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So he'll get to do them both. He blows himself up and that's how he dies there.
Listen, it's hard enough just to blow yourself, let alone to blow yourself up.
Oh my God.
These are the kind of jokes that explain why I didn't win the presidency. Hope that explains some.
Also, his ex-wife apparently called him a cyborg.
And I feel like she probably didn't even have permission to share their role plays.
Right.
She's just going rogue on that.
He also keeps warning us about World War III and the robot apocalypse.
Well, I mean, that one I don't think is evidence. All of us see that coming. All of us see both those coming.
Yikes. And he doesn't really behave like a human, supposedly, right? Like he's awkward and eccentric and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he has a lot of personality issues. I mean, one of the stories I read from his childhood, he got thrown downstairs by other kids And like, you know, I remember when I was listening to this story, I kept thinking like, I'm supposed to feel sorry for him. But then I was actually thinking about the bully. I'm like, you have to be a special kind of person to be thrown downstairs. Like you probably, I mean, not to blame the bully, not to blame the victim.
I would normally say like on some level, either you antagonized people, maybe you had it coming, but this happened in South Africa when he was a kid. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think, I kept thinking, wow, if they're beating up a white kid like this, God knows what they're doing to the black kids up the street. You know?
Oh my God. My God, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you heard this part of it, but every time he got thrown down the stairs, he immediately got back up and just charged at them with a cold look on his face and said, "Have you seen Sarah Connor?" So that was a little bit of evidence, if you ask me. He also turned into a liquid puddle and then reform into Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They should make a movie out of that.
Yeah, they really should.
Yeah.
So
he does talk kind of alien, like he can barely, his mouth barely forms human shapes. He'll go, yes, a million, of course. It's like he's like speaking in Morse code. He's like, he like can decode. I think he's saying words. I think we're decoding it into words.
Yeah, and well, other sources we found believe this. One, some people think he can see into the future, which I don't know, reading trends is not exactly seeing into the future. And some people think he's a time traveler. Time traveler one is a trip. Let's all look at this picture, which I'm sure we'll share. It's a picture of World War I pilot who people say resembles Elon Musk. Do you guys think they look alike?
They actually, I think they do look alike. That's just me though. But maybe when I see Caucasian faces, no offense to Caucasian people in this room, they kind of look alike sometimes.
Yeah, I was about to say, this clearly was one of the two of you came up with this. One of the three of you came up with this. This one, it's like, oh, look at this picture of Magic Johnson and Shaquille O'Neal. They look the same, right? Like, no, that's different humans.
You know, white people who live in China, they complain because the phone's over there. The face recognition doesn't notice their faces. No, I'm just playing.
Oh, really?
Everybody gets into all phones.
Right.
Because that was a problem with the iPhone recognizing Asians.
For Asian people, yeah.
It actually was.
Yeah. We all look alike, so it's okay. I mean, you meet one Asian, you meet us all, right? So wait, so you guys don't think that they look alike?
Not really. I mean, a little bit they look alike, yes, but like you wouldn't even believe they were like, you wouldn't even be convinced they were brothers.
It could be maybe his grandson if you put in the effects of the other DNA, but they're not a spitting image.
Oh, really? I thought they looked alike. Oh, no. Maybe I would be a bad witness in a murder.
It was him.
It was Elon Musk.
Describe him in detail for us. He was white. That's all I got.
I mean, but with that said, this is the picture he used when he was 18 to go into bars and drink. People were like, what? You're 106? Oh,
it worked, but they only served him sarsaparilla. We've got a bottle of moonshine down in the basement if you're interested.
Wait, Jennifer, do you think they look alike?
I think they kind of do, but it's hard to say in this picture comparison because I always go by the nose because nose doesn't change much because I bartend. So that's how I can tell when girls and guys are trying to give me some other like ID that's not them and it's their friend. It's the nose.
What about nose jobs though? It's the one part you can completely change too.
The nose. And he had a nose job.
He did? And girls do get nose jobs.
Do you have girls at bars having to like tell you about their nose jobs? I swear to God, I got a nose job. Here's me before.
They actually should say that, and then I would probably let them go. But they don't. They aren't clever enough to say that, which means they're faking it. Yeah.
Well, it just means they don't want the people they're with to know.
Right.
Jennifer, you look at nose. I look at penises.
Oh, yeah. That don't change much either.
It's a great way to ID people, and also it explains why your bar is very unpopular. No one gets in there. It's real hard to get in. I'd rather just go get a hot dog next door. Pun intended. Right.
Yeah. So, I think there's a resemblance, but this is a stretching it.
Elon got beat up. One of the times he got beat up, I read he got a deviated septum. So I think he had that fixed.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
so in essence, a nose job. They may have made it look exactly the same, or maybe they fixed it up a little bit.
Yeah, they can while they're in there. Yeah, while they're up in there.
Look, I fell on my head from high heights a handful of times as a child, and I'm not an alien, so I feel like Fell off the slide at the top of McDonald's Playland, down 20 feet right under my head.
Oh my God.
And were they balls? Did they have the balls?
No balls down there. It might have been rubber mat, but it still ain't good.
Right.
Is that why you ran for president?
That's right. And that's why I believe I currently am president of the United States of America.
And I'm Batman. You're Batman as well.
Oh, well, obviously, I don't like to talk about it, but, just do what you can for the city.
Oh, that's great.
Gotham will be saved.
I hope your mom sued McDonald's for that. That's a better lawsuit than the hot coffee
family,
thing.
and it's a shame.
Oh.
It's a shame.
That's un-American.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's very un-American of me. It's uncool of me, and my bank account explains it to the I'm getting paid $50,000 to be on this podcast, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
I think that was the agreement.
Yeah.
We're not paying you, but we have a cup of hot McDonald's coffee.
That's
and
fine.
You can spill it on yourself.
Oh, that's good. Great.
crotch. He's calling your crotch.
Right.
Yeah.
Warning, coffee is hot. That's on our cups of coffee. That's where we are as a country. Warning, this coffee is hot.
Oh my
you
God.
dumb fuck.
Where we are as a country, I have a joke about it, but I'll give you the short version. I've been getting really cold butter when I go to get like my bagels. I mean, like ice cold butter.
That's so annoying.
No, that's what I want.
But I mean, I can't. It can't even. The toast can't even melt it. So I've been heating up my butter in the bathroom using the hand dryer. So this is
Thank
where
God that you said hand dryer.
yeah. This is where we're at now. Like
I've been sitting on the butter. And
No. No, I go in, like, I order a bagel. They give me the little butter thing. I immediately go to the bathroom and I stand under it, put it in the air dryer for like 30
Why don't
seconds.
you ask them to warm it up? They have a microwave.
Or why don't you just hold it in your
I've
hand
asked.
for
I've
5
asked.
seconds?
Yeah. They won't do
Why don't
that.
you just close your hand around it for 5 seconds, Dwayne?
It's freezing. It is freezing.
I like a cold butter. I don't like a melty butter.
Well, if the bagel is hot, but
Right.
they don't even
Okay,
heat the
that's
bagel up.
fair,
They
that's
barely heat
fair.
the bagel up. Yeah.
I do hate that you can't put a butter in a microwave. Even for 2 seconds, it comes out liquid. There's
Yeah.
no amount of time you can slightly soften.
In this joke, which I'll do a little bit, but hopefully I'll do it. You'll see it, the longer version. But I say when you get a bagel, it's light. It's so not toasted these days. It's a light skinned bagel. It's Vanessa Williams, right?
I did like that bagel's penthouse spread. Though.
Right. And you're looking at, you're like, is it? And the only people that know this bagel, you don't even know it's toasted. The only people that know it's toasted are people that grew up with it. Like this bagel could move to another city and pass as an untoasted bagel. That's how. But never ask them to heat the bagel up again. If you go, oh, you know what? Can you just give it?
This is at a where?
Starbucks.
This is usually Starbucks,
Okay.
but any place.
Yeah.
Can you run it through again? Because then if you give it back and they run it through again, you get Shaka Zulu. You get a Wesley Snipes bagel, and can I just get the Holly Berry? And that's all I want.
That's funny.
That bagel is so much Vanessa Williams. When you cut it, it goes, sometimes the sun goes round the moon.
Oh my gosh. All right. So, okay. Elon was asked about this time traveler theory on Twitter. Okay. Why were you in Canada in 1914? And why was your name Raymond Collishaw? And why was your occupation ace fighter pilot? And this was Elon's answer, actually. Okay. Full disclosure, I'm actually a 3,000-year-old vampire. It's such a trial, assuming all these false identities over the centuries. Okay, I assume he was joking, but what if he's not?
Exactly. What if he's not? So that's why we think this month's question has to be changed. It's now. Is Elon a reptilian alien trying to go home to Mars? Or is he a vampire? That's a good question.
Whoa.
All right.
Making a,
All right.
turning a big left turn here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like that there's not even an option that he's both a vampire and an alien. What if he's an alien that came here a long time and became undead?
or that he's neither of those things. That's
Yeah.
I don't
a
think
theory.
let's try to keep it realistic here. Obviously, he's one of those things, but I'd like to suggest that he's both of those things. I think an alien that came here a long time ago. He's very frustrated with humankind, and he realized to accomplish what he wanted to accomplish, try to save humanity, is going to take a very long time, and he needed to be able to live forever. So he kind of got down with the Transylvania folks and got in with the undead and got one of them to bite him. One
That's
of these
a
days
good
and throw him in
theory.
his bag.
So
Oh.
he's an
Vampire
alien.
alien.
He's
Yeah.
an alien,
He's an
and then he let a vampire bite.
That's correct. Now he's a vampire alien.
Nice. How do you think he did that? Did he just was he a neck tease? Did he just, you know what I mean? Like, how did he?
Yeah. He would just polish his neck.
Say that
He
again.
would polish his neck.
Right.
Sometimes he would take a pat of butter
Right.
and just rub it on there until it started to melt
you
slowly.
have to put it under the heater thing first.
That's correct.
Yeah, you can't just do
That's
it.
correct.
Yeah,
He turned
Ice
into
cold,
a
yeah.
vampire while being neck sucked in a bathroom at a Starbucks in Barstow on the way to Vegas with a buttery neck and a bunch of dreams.
See, I like this, but then, like, does he have to report back to the home planet? Did he lose contact with them? Or they're
he's not telling them about that.
Oh, they're like, don't become undead. And he's like, too late.
No, they wouldn't approve. I don't think they'd approve of an alien mixing with vampires. They wanted it to be a quick experiment here on Earth, kind of like Jesus did it, you know? So, he's not telling them. He's just saying, I don't understand what's happening, but I keep living. I'm living a very long time. They're like, are you a vampire dog? He's like, no, I never spread butter on my neck in Barstow Bathroom. I've never been to Barstow.
He's saying basically because he's lying. He's saying when we take human form, we become undead. And I like to think his home country, they're running studies and doing all of this based on his faulty data because he's not telling them what really happened.
Yeah, listen, that's what you got to do to survive out here as a vampalian.
Wow, I think you just coined that phrase, vampalian.
You're damn right I did.
Damn.
Yep.
Dwayne, what's your theory?
Well, I was torn. I'm gonna go with he's an alien, but I'm not sure if he was born an alien. You see what I mean? Because his mom did give birth to him. And I've seen some pictures of him when he was younger, allegedly.
You saw birth pictures?
No, just...
How close are you with Elon Musk's mom?
So I think I'm torn between these two things. So either an alien impregnated his mom, much like the Virgin Mary, against her knowledge or will. Or when he was born, an alien took another form and sort of came into his body and took over his body, right? So let's go with the first one. So his mom was, wanted to have another baby or whatever. And so she didn't realize she was carrying this alien thing. And so he was born. And because he was an alien, that's why he didn't pick up the cues. He had Asperger's, but it was really just
alien,
right? And so he didn't. He was like, these humans are so weird. I don't even think he knew he was an alien. See, he just he's half alien, and he didn't know it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really meet their father until later in life.
Right.
And also, listen, as to a lot of people say that he has Asperger's. That's the condition that a lot of people live with, and being on the spectrum, there's no judgment there. Asperger's is fine. Terrible name though for a burger place.
Asperger's.
Right, you know what I mean? It's really not appealing.
Not at all.
Unless you're into it. I mean, everyone's into different things.
Also,
so you can't judge people,
That's
right?
a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It's weird how the word ass really does go both ways. It's like,
That's true.
it's like there's times when it's fantastic and times when it's horrible, and it's just context.
Some people might be into it, but it's still not a place to go after you win a Little League game.
That's
you know
correct.
what I mean?
You definitely don't want to heat your butter in that bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I think his mom, I think he didn't know. And I think sometime around in the last 15 or 20 years, he found out.
Okay.
And so then he went into hyper mode and he's like, I got to get to Mars. I got to do all this other stuff. But before that, he was just a weird dude. Didn't know why he didn't fit in. And somehow it came to his attention that he's part alien. And that's why he's being coy and being jokey and you know what I mean? And now his ultimate plan is to destroy everybody, the aliens and us.
Wow.
Because
he hates himself. He's like Hitler.
He's been forsaken by everyone. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, and I think a lot of people think that he's a Martian, he's from Mars, but no, it doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't want to use nukes on Mars, his home planet. Look at what he says. He says he wants humans to colonize Mars, to become the first interplanetary species. And then he wants to blow up Mars also. He wants humans to be blown up. He clearly comes from a competing planet. Okay. So who knows what his real situation is. But if men are from Mars, women are from Venus, maybe he's a female vampalian from Venus.
Okay.
And he's just trying to sabotage Mars so female aliens finally dominate the vampire race here on Earth. And they can live.
Wow.
They can live far beyond the apocalypse, which he predicts is coming.
Right.
Because obviously vampires live forever. Nothing kills them. It'll be just vampires and cockroaches running around.
I'm not mad at that. And also, because sometimes drug dealers who never snitch will snitch on another drug dealer because it's like the cops are doing the work for you. So you snitch on a rival gang.
Where do you hear this from?
I watch Narcos. No, listen, as a drug dealer, I'm not saying like, you're selling like on the street,
Oh, I thought you meant like street dealers.
No.
Kingpins.
Yeah, like you will sometimes help bring down another king, like Whitey Ford, right? Like Whitey Ford.
Yankees pitcher?
No, not Whitey Bulger. Excuse me, Whitey Bulger. Not Whitey Ford. Right. Whitey Bulger.
All of us Whiteys are the same in Dwayne's eyes. I get it.
I was like, the Yankee picture.
No.
As you can see here, a picture of Whitey Ford and Whitey Bulger. We'll put it in the show notes. Whitey Ford, Whitey Bulger. Are they the same? Looks unmistakable to me. I'm Dwayne Perkins, and I don't see color.
Whitey Bulger is what I would say. He got caught in Santa Monica.
That's, by the way, what I refer to my erections as.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, right.
Yeah. Whitey
Bulger. That's a good name.
Have you seen my Whitey Bulger?
Oh, boy. That's really good. Oh, man. I couldn't call mine that. But anyway, so
Well, you could.
I don't know if you got a vitiligo situation going on Michael Jackson
That's
style.
True.
Yeah.
If I did have vitiligo, if that's how you say it, that would be a good way to break it to someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My penis is white. Do you think it matches? Just take a look.
Look at my Whitey Bulger. So when he was in Boston, he was that's that movie, the one movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. No, Leonardo. It's based on his story. He was
Titanic.
He was
Romeo and Juliet.
He was fried green tomatoes actually. But he was snitching on rival gangs and feeding the government just enough information while getting a protection because he was doing that. So that's what Elon Musk is doing. Like, hey, take out Mars. I got beef with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a really long story.
To get back to that, yeah.
I also think here's another part of my theory, if I can add to it, is that Elon Musk didn't always want to destroy Earth, didn't always want doom for humanity. He's been here a long time. He had hope for us. His last effort was hoping that we would embrace green technology and electric cars and save the planet from human extinction. And when we said, we'd still rather hear the vroom vroom of our engines, he's like, fuck it, let's blow everything up.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
And then buy Twitter and let's let Trump back on and let's just do whatever we can to create chaos on Earth.
It's hopeless.
Send them to Mars, blow them up there.
I love that.
I've given up.
I love that.
He gave us a shot.
You know what I love about that? That's literally how I feel.
Classic supervillain story.
That's literally how I feel. Like I want us to make it as a people, but if we don't, I want to be here to see it when it all goes down.
Yeah. It's a very Carlin-esque opinion.
So my theory is that he's neither an alien or a vampire. He's actually zombie.
Okay.
Why? Why do you say that?
Just a feeling.
I think because
So he died?
loves zombies.
Right.
No. So like all the alien stuff and all the vampire stuff, he's a self-hating person, and he wants to be cooler, right? He wants to always be like he saw Twilight, and he thinks that these guys sparkle and stuff. So he wants to be a vampire. And for the aliens, he thinks people are either afraid or they love aliens, one or the other. But nobody loves zombies, like other than me. But he's lived forever. That guy in that picture. I know you guys just don't think that they look alike, but to me, they're like freaking identical twins.
And he doesn't sleep much.
Yeah, he doesn't sleep much.
That's a zombie trait. Here's a question that I wonder. Maybe we need to ask the female here in the room her opinion on this. Do you think he's good in bed? Can you picture him? I can't picture it personally.
Great question.
Because he gets a lot of very attractive, famous women to be his girlfriend, but he seems like he couldn't
Can I
fuck.
just interject? I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say, Koji. Can I interject? On a past episode, Jennifer told us she's been on a date with 2 different billionaires.
Whoa.
Who are awkward too. So I mean, it
really?
So
Mark Cuban and who else? Mark Cuban and who else?
Oh no, not Mark. Yeah, not Mark. Not
What
yet.
billionaires are we talking about?
No,
The
you don't
Dollar
wanna
Shave Club
name.
guy? Who are we talking about?
I know. I don't want to name him. I don't want to name him. I feel bad because I was making fun of him.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
I still got one on my jock, still texting me.
So then what's your thought? Do you think Alon's got skills in the bedroom if you had to picture it or not?
From that experience, those 2 billionaires, no, their game is bad.
That's what I would think,
Game
right?
is bad.
It just
Yeah.
seems too awkward. They're too removed from it.
Right.
They haven't had to work at it.
But I know, is a little bit, I heard he's like a little bit of a party animal. So he's a little bit of a wild one. So maybe he's brushed up on his like social skills a little bit because he was rolling with cool people.
I don't know. If you have $1 billion, you're good in bed. I'm just saying.
I mean, the woman might still come. I don't know if you're good in bed.
Well, she'll always come. Right.
I'm just trying to make your zombie theory work. I'm figuring
Right.
if he is good in bed, then maybe he's very intentionally doing that so he could fuck their brains out. And
then eat said brains.
Correct.
Yes.
That's
Very nice.
correct.
That's a good one. That sounds way better than my theory now.
Or like the old joke from my first special where I said, I met a girl, she was so hot and so dumb, I wanted to fuck her brains in.
That's good.
That's a good one. All right, Jennifer, what's your theory?
Okay, so my theory is because I have this idea that anybody who's uber successful like him, like Jay-Z, like Jamie Foxx, we've talked about the potential Illuminati members in elite, right? So I had heard once that there are real vampires, right? And these vampires, though, they're not like blood sucking, like biting on the neck and stuff, but they just need a little drop of blood. They just need to like poke their finger or someone else's finger and suck on it. And they just need a little bit of blood, like, I don't know, every week, every day or something, and that it's a real thing. And so I have this theory that people that are like Elon Musk and that are up there with the elites and have like look sort of eternally youthful, they're like, they've got some kind of fountain of youth access. So whether it's human growth hormone or it's blood. So therefore, he's a kind of a vampire because he drinks blood.
Wait, that's all it
what-
takes to be. That's all it takes to be a billionaire. And
But he's not.
I don't know.
Well, that doesn't make the billionaire part. This makes the vampire part.
He's not a vampire who turns into a bat. He's just a modern day vampire.
A modern day vampire.
A latter day vampire.
Yeah.
Look, I know a little bit about this because the only other famous Gleib out there is Herman Gleib, the vampire bat. You can look it up.
Really?
Put that in your
Right.
show notes. Put that in your show notes.
Okay.
Herman Gleib, the vampire bat.
Yes,
It's the only
yes.
other. But so I know that, and I'll tell you this much too. You're basically saying that some of our modern day vampires is like Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox.
Yeah.
They drink each other's blood all the time.
They do,
That's right.
don't
drink
they?
each other's blood.
Watch. They're going to be very well preserved, and they're going to look good
I
for a
bet.
long time.
I bet. I mean,
That's
they already
what I
look
think.
Megan
pretty
Fox is
good.
well
Yeah,
preserved.
yeah,
well pretty
exactly, exactly. I believe like
Machine Gun Kelly, I don't know how true that is, but he's survived a lot of tattoos. I mean, he's covered.
You want to look young, and it's like, oh, should I moisturize or drink blood? It's just moisturize. Just stay out of the sun, eat veggies,
I know, right?
hydrate.
I'll drink.
Yeah,
blood.
but it's more expensive to moisturize. Some of those Kiehl's lotions are very pricey.
That's true. That's true.
Pretty pricey to
Just
get them.
sneak into an Equinox. They have Kiehl's in the bathroom.
They
Guys.
do.
Yeah, I went there once to an Equinox.
Interesting.
And
Sneak into the Equinox.
Well,
If part one of your plan to get free lotion is commit a crime, why not just steal the Kiehl's directly and not have to just get a couple squeezes? Break the law by breaking into a gym, not even working out there, and steal a little couple squirts.
no, you can work out there too. You can work
Yeah,
out
but
there.
how about just steal some Kiehl's
That's
from the
true.
Kiehl's store at the mall?
That's true. You can do that as well.
You're already committing a crime. Let's commit the right crime. That's what I've always believed. That's my campaign as president of the United States of America. Let's commit smarter crimes, ladies and gentlemen. In case that clip's taken out of context, that's a joke.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
So, okay, we're at the point in the show where we need to pick the unofficial official story, one that will, for once and for all, answer this question. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Which theory do we want to roll with?
It's tough. I would say I do like mine, but
Of course you do.
but I really like yours, Ben. I like
you.
Gleib's. I like that he's both. I guess the only question I have is like, why did he decide to be such a public figure? But I guess once you've been on the planet long enough, why not?
He's done everything else.
Right.
His ego's out of control. He's done it.
I mean, he's been an Air Force pilot before, so
That's true. Right. No, I like Ben's.
He's
I like
been around the world, and I can't find my baby. You know what I mean? He's trying his best. He saw me do stand up once, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did stand up for Elon, and he didn't walk out. So that was something.
that's
and, then,
right.
and then there was a much more famous comedian that performed right after me, and he walked out for 3 minutes.
Ooh, is that right?
I'll tell you off air who it was.
I want to know. You know, the two, I guess, most interesting people. Eddie Murphy was in the crowd once, but that doesn't even compare. Two other
That's pretty
people.
damn good as far as comedy.
That is
goes.
pretty
Yeah.
good. But B. Arthur was in the crowd once.
Okay.
In the Valley. And Monica Lewinsky was in the crowd once. Because I walked
Nice.
into this club and they were like, hey, no Lewinsky jokes. And I was like,
Oh.
what? And she was in the crowd. And,
She did the telethon that you wrote on.
Oh, right. That's
She
right.
was in the
Yeah,
telethon.
that's
She
right.
follows me on Twitter now.
Yeah. She's
She
solid.
tweeted me a couple times. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And she's preserved pretty well.
Mm.
She's
Maybe
a
she
person I
drinks
think
blood.
Drink
maybe
blood.
I think she was cute, but now she's like an attractive woman. So like it went the right direction for her. Yeah.
Jennifer, which one did you like best?
I think I like Ben's as well because I think I like this coining of the term vampalien, and it just makes sense to me that he's both. Because
I mean,
can't
look, he
really
runs
decide.
multiple companies. He likes to multitask.
Yeah,
There you go.
That's his thing.
Yeah, exactly.
and I'm with you
So-
guys. I think it's Ben. I love his theory the best. What about
Yeah.
you, Ben? Which theory do you like?
Thank you so much. I don't believe in mine at all. No, I'm kidding. I believe in mine. I believe mine is the only thing that makes sense. It explains all the parts of the puzzle.
Yeah,
He's a non-Mars based alien vampire that's here to destroy humanity while sucking all the blood out of the planet.
perfect. It explains everything. It all makes sense.
It
It all
does.
finally makes sense.
It does.
Yes, we can put this one to bed.
And that's why he's my running mate for the 2024 election. Interplanetary presidency.
Oh, I will vote for that. Yes.
Thank you
Elon
so much.
Musk. I hope he listens to this episode.
I'll make sure and give him your number so you have 3 billionaires on your job.
Yeah, actually, yeah, hook it up. No, he's in a relationship, but I actually always thought of like he'd be kind of fun to date.
You really think that?
Oh
Steve?
yeah, because he's got a little wild streak, and that's what I like. And
But you also said you didn't think he'd be good in bed. So what is just the wildness? You want someone you can just go partying with?
I just know, like my experience from the playing field is that when they're like that, they aren't as good as in bed. But he has that like sort of he's a little more hip, so I feel like maybe he's learned along the way. So I'm hoping for
fair
better.
enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's listening.
And if just for the record, I decided to get good in bed first, then get my billion. So just that's my strategy. So when I'm a billionaire, I wouldn't have to learn. So
I decided to do neither, but talk a game like I have both. Oops.
Once if you manifest and you say it, it becomes what you think becomes truth. So
That's a great thing you can tell yourself to get through the days, the long, cold days.
right.
That is the official story, right?
Yes.
We got it. Okay, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to play a game. Now that we're experts on spotting aliens, I'll go through a list of names and you tell me if they are human or alien. I'll start. Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, I definitely think he's alien, reptilian. Yeah, he just looks too much like one.
I'd have to say alien. Yeah, based on the same thing with Elon Musk. Like he's just
awkward.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like he's human.
He's not only an alien, he's annoying even to all aliens.
Yeah.
How about former President Donald Trump? Alien or human?
I think human, only because I think his level of pettiness. I think he's, you know what I mean. He's petty like a human being is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
True, and just based on the standard of intelligent life forms, definitely human.
Yeah, absolutely.
I second that.
I agree with the human.
This one is interesting. Let's go with Oprah. Okay,
Oprah.
And I'll go first. Let me tell you something. A young Oprah, I would have bust down a young Oprah, right? Let's just be clear.
Bust down? Is that a term?
Yeah. I mean, it could mean just talk to, but it could mean other things too.
It doesn't mean talk to. It doesn't mean talk to. Okay.
I like that he tried to convince me of that.
Whoa, Dwayne Oprah is bust down in the back room. Are they chatting? No one's ever meant that.
It doesn't normally mean talking. Yeah. So, but yeah, I would. But with that said, I gotta, being that she's such a powerful Black woman, I hate to, but I gotta lean toward alien. Only because I don't know, it's just something about her ascension, her like how great she is. I think she's one of these people that can probably read a book in a day. You know what I mean? And not that you can't do that as a human being, but
just why would you want to?
Reading. I mean, you can read a book in a day, like Dr. Seuss, for instance, but she reads actual books in a day. I'm leaning toward alien.
I like to take 2 days so I can absorb it all.
Right, exactly. But with that said, she's a kind alien who wants the best for us, but nonetheless an alien.
All right, Ben.
I feel like you're falling for Oprah's PR hook, line, and sinker.
Right.
You know, Scott Richardson, Scott and I, my old writing partner, and I had the premise that Oprah is a white businessman.
That's hilarious.
Who is in disguise as the perfect Black woman that everybody could get behind. But it's all an enterprise to sell magazines.
Is that Scott we played basketball with?
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
And so I think she might be a white businessman, but if not, I would say alien. She's too perfect.
Yeah.
I'm saying alien too.
Mm-hmm.
I was leaning towards human because I'm suckered in. I think she just seems like so full of empathy. And I've listened to her podcast and little snippets I hear of her. And I've just always admired her.
Yeah, but her fluctuating weight, you're not taking this into account. It's probably because she's very nice, empathetic. And then once every 6 months, she has to fulfill her mission here and she eats another person.
Right.
Think about it.
Oh my God.
And when she betrays herself, when the alien comes out, like it's all human, it's all good, but every now and then it comes out.
Yeah.
That's when she goes, you get a car. You
Yeah.
get a car.
Yeah.
You get a car.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, the alien is coming out a little bit right there.
I ate another secretary. You know what's happening.
Oh my
All right, Ben, do you want to pick one of the people and see?
Absolutely.
Or anybody else too off the list as well?
I would like to pick Will Smith.
Oh.
Human or alien? Do I have to answer first?
You can answer first. Yeah.
Will Smith is a human. Will Smith is a human because you'd think alien because of the huge ears.
Right.
But he can't control himself, his impulse. He's got everything you'd ever want. You'd think that would satisfy an alien mission. Still loses it on a basic insult. Now, maybe that's alien programming. Maybe he's more of a robot than anything, but he's a human robot. He's not an alien.
Well, why is all
tough.
the humans imperfect and all the aliens perfect?
Right.
Because
we
hope.
Well, because if you're an alien and you come here and you assume human form, you're at least technologically more advanced than we are. So we would think you could handle some other things. This is a tough one. I say alien only because of how he first rapped. It was good rap, but it was like there was something sort of like mechanical about it, right? It's kind of like
And soft as can be.
Yeah.
They were good rhymes, but softest rap ever.
It was like
He made 50 Cent seem like Tupac.
Right. Basically, the alien programming took into account all rap and then said, this is what you can say and this is what you can't say.
Yeah.
And he just perfectly straddled that line.
It's like he only listened to the 50% of Tupac songs that were about his mom.
Right.
Tupac, hard rapper, and then half his songs, Mama, I love you so much. Mama, I'm going to be over at 2.
Right.
Take you out to lunch. It's like, that's not that hard to be rapping about your mom all the time.
Right. And he's from Philly, right? So you would think
West Philadelphia.
All the other rappers from Philly, they rap a little bit harder. And then he's like, even for his television show, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Like that's alien. That's alien programming.
That's what it says like how humans. I spend my days on the playground, like human children, throwing round ball into hoop. I became the fresh humanoid of Bel Air. Here's my brother Carlton. He looks human. Dance for us, Carlton.
All right, Jennifer, do you think Will Smith, alien or not human?
I'm changing my vote, alien.
Alien.
Me.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, I was thinking human, but he wants to transcend to become an alien. And so he thinks he's going to supersede. And that's why he was studying at the Church of Scientology, because that's those people are aliens, right? And he just was trying to hide that he donates money or studies there or whatever. But he's trying to become an alien.
But see, either he's trying to become an alien, but that's also an argument for alien. Because maybe he's lost contact with the home planet. Then he hears about these Scientologists, and they're like, once he gets wind of the
That's
fifth,
the boat home.
like the fifth stage is like alien,
Right?
Home, no phone home, right?
Yeah.
So he joins
That
up with
could
them
be.
to see if they can get him home. And I think the slap is like I think what you said. It's like it's over the top human programming, just like on the playground. That's where I spent most of my days, right? So then the alien goes, do something
Be
human,
tough.
smack. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Insult was made towards your wife. Mildest insult possible. I mean, what was that insult? He called her one of the baddest ass female characters in film history.
Right.
What are you going to be, G.I. Jane, the cool badass action hero? How dare you speak about my wife and call her an action hero?
Right.
Weird.
Yeah, over the top. So
Weird. True.
So I don't know. It's and I don't know why the alien would have done that, but I think it's just you don't get it right when you're an alien. It's like,
And you know why DJ Jazzy Jeff and him split up? He's threatened to expose him.
maybe. Right?
He had to cut him off.
There you go. It's kind of like if you speak another language as an adult, and you can be fluent, but every now and then you're gonna just the hardwiring. You're gonna say something that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like if you learn English and you speak well, every now and then you're going to just say something. I want to take your daughter to the lake. What? You know what I mean? Just because most of the things and I think that's what happened that night. I think he just overdid it. The alien in him. Anyway.
I just don't know why after he slapped Rock, why he didn't pull out that little black flash thing to just clear all of our memories.
Well, there is an actual thing where, so I'm not going to go into the long story about my brother, but my brother is mentally insane. And when my mom passed away, he fell on the floor and started screaming and doing all these crazy things. And I was talking to my friend who's a psychologist, and he tells me a lot of people who are sociopaths, what they do is they live as when they act or when they're supposed to have a feeling, they live in a way that says as if, like, so if my mom were to die, this is how I'm supposed to, as if I had feelings, this is how I'm supposed to live. And so it was like crazy. It's like a Korean drama. He's like on the ground, like screaming. And everyone's like my mom was like, not like, I should mention, my mom had dementia. She had Alzheimer's. She was like on her way to dying. It wasn't like a secret.
It didn't sneak up on you.
Yeah, it wasn't like she was shot somewhere, right? She was there. And so like, it was like the crazy, but that was the first time I remember when it was happening. I looked at my brother and I'm like, it just felt really wrong. Like he was an alien.
Right. Can I tell you, when I watch a lot of Dateline, and the number one way they know the husband did it, the one in two ways is no reaction
or too much
overreaction.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They've seen a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Like we haven't seen that many people die. I mean, we don't tell people that their family members died. They do this with regularity, so they get to know what a normal response is. And if you say your wife's been killed, and the guy's like, "Oh, really? He did it, right?" If he doesn't ask how. But if you go, your wife's been killed, oh my God, then you also did it.
Yeah. Well, now if somebody heard that feedback, now they're going to take that into account. Now if somebody kills their wife, their answer is going to be like, "Oh, I'm shocked." I mean, not too shocked. I'm just medium shocked about this. I'm sad. I'm not too sad. I understand. I keep it in perspective. Don't you understand? If I feel some way about this, I can't tell you. I'm peeved. I'm peeved about my wife being murdered. Let's tell you that much. I'm slightly sauced about this. Although I reporter, I wouldn't mind busting down with her. Right. But couldn't mean talking. We couldn't mean talking. It's too soon for it to mean anything more than that. We'll be right back. It's not my own show. I'm being interviewed about my wife's death. I'm so sorry. We're brought to you by Beaches. Beaches chewing gum. We'll be right back. You watch a lot of Dateline. Here's an important question. Do you watch alone?
Both alone and...
Never watch alone.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Why? What do they say?
That's their slogan, Dateline.
Oh, I didn't know that.
All the commercials. Dateline, don't watch alone.
To be fair, I listen more than I watch to the podcast.
Well, they don't mention listening. They don't mention listening. It's probably fine to do that alone. And also, in case your sociopath brother's listening, I think you're a normal dude and you're a great dude. Don't come after me.
Thank you so much, Ben, for coming on with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Tell us where people can follow you.
Great question. You can follow me on all the social medias at Ben Gleib. BenGleib, posting a new stand-up clip every day of the week on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So check that out, or my YouTube /BGleib, where you see longer form videos. I'm doing 3 videos a week for Rebel HQ with my take on the news events of the world. Very well planned, executed, hopefully funny videos. You can get that on the Rebel HQ Young Turks Facebook and YouTube page. You can see my brain teaser game show, Idiot Test, on Game Show Network every Saturday and Sunday nights in a couple hours block, or on Pluto TV on every streaming device there is, Apple TVs and Rokus and things around the world, on the Pluto TV app. And my podcast, Last Week on Earth, is starting a brand new season shortly. Actually, by the time this comes out, this new season will be underway. And you can come to my virtual show. You can hang with me live in a live comedy club experience from your own home anywhere on planet Earth at Nowhere Comedy Club. I do the show every couple weeks called Gleib Off the Top, crowd work and improvised madness. And you can be part of it, and you can be elected mayor of our little virtual town. It's real fun. And we do it every few weeks. You can get tickets to that at bengleib.com, as well as all my road dates, which are not very many right now because I'm focusing on virtual stuff and podcasts yours and yours and yours.
Amazing, Ben. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate you being with us for season 2. There are millions of podcasts out there, and we're honored that you've chosen ours to listen to, even if you've just popped on through for a quick moment or you're listening to the whole episode. Please keep up the reviews and the ratings. We love it. Hope you are enjoying the guests this season. Please check out our website also with everything on it, unofficialofficialstory.com. Our show notes are on there, past episodes, and be sure to come back next month because we're going to find out the answer to the question, is Prince Charles a vampire?
Oh, man, I'm excited about that.
I can't wait for that episode. In fact, I'm all ears.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.